Last stage, we learned about how gerundives can describe nouns. Remember, gerundives are participles, which means, in the most basic sense, they're a fancy form of adjective. When gerundives describe nouns, they're translated into English as ing. For example, here's the gerundive describing a noun in the ablative. Meis filiis asciscendis me magnopere honoras. By, that's the ablative, adopting my sons, you honor me greatly. Just to clear out some confusion, we also translate present active participles into English as ing. Here would be a similar thought, but using a present active participle instead of the gerundive. Tu asciscens meos filios, me magnopere honoras. You, adopting my sons, honor me greatly. Do you see the slight difference between the two? With the gerundive, the sons are being described, and the English translation is a little less literal and a little more idiomatic. We can also put the gerundive phrase into the ablative and have the act of adopting showing the means through which you are honoring me. With the present active participle, the adopting has to describe you, since it's the person doing the adoption, and we don't get the same sense of means or causation. For the present active participle, we simply get a time relationship. You are honoring me greatly at the same time that you are adopting my sons. The true meaning of the sentence is a little less obvious. The gerund is very similar to the gerundive, which we'll find out at this stage.
Staring.
Gerunds and gerundives. Those terms sound similar. Does that mean that the definitions are similar too? Sure. Just like gerundives are adjectives, you can remember that because they both have an ive ending. Gerunds are nouns, and they are both used in almost the same situation. Let's go back to that original gerundive sentence. Meis filiis asciscendis me magnopere honoras. By, that's the ablative, adopting my sons, you honor me greatly. Since the gerundive is an adjective, it must agree with a noun, and this noun in our English sentence is the direct object of the translated gerundive. But what if we don't have a direct object? What if, instead of adopting my sons, you're training your dog? By sitting, you honor me greatly. Sedendo me magnopere honoras. Here's a treat. Instead of using the gerundive, we use the gerund. It becomes a noun, and just like the gerundive, it's translated with ing. The gerund is used in the same situations as the gerundive, minus the passive periphrastic. Here are some more examples of these two types of grammatical situations. The gerundive. Est mihi nulla occasio urbis fugiendi. Remember, the gerundive is an adjective and has to agree in case, number, and gender with the feminine verbs. There is no chance for me of fleeing the city. And the gerund. Est mihi nulla occasio fugiendi. There is no chance for me of fleeing. Here's another. The gerundive. Glabrio ad imperatorem salutandum surrexit. Glabrio rose for the purpose of greeting, or in order to greet, the emperor. And the gerund. Glabrio ad querendum surrexit. Glabrio rose for the purpose of complaining, or in order to complain. In fact, the gerundive, since it's an adjective, has all 30 forms. But the gerund, since it's a noun, has only 4. The neuter singular of the genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. The Romans never used a gerund as a subject or direct object of a verb. That's what the infinitive, another verbal noun, is used for. The accusative gerund is only found with ad, and the genitive, dative, and ablative gerunds have very specific ways of translating them. And differentiating between gerunds and gerundives is pretty easy. Gerundives are adjectives and must describe a noun, which is the direct object of the gerundive in English, while gerunds are the nouns and stand alone, and don't have a direct object in English. Pretty complicated grammar with a pretty easy explanation.
Trying to turn my head, hoping my mind forgets the shoe fits.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the other grammatical topic in stage 40, even though it has been brought up before. Continuing our work with indirect statements, when head verbs are in the past tenses, the Latin infinitive conveys a relativistic sense of time. The present infinitive is used for same-time actions, the perfect infinitive for prior actions, and the future infinitive for actions yet to come. But English isn't so simple, and we have to change our translations to fit the head verb moving into the past based on sequence of tenses. Properly, in English, with a present tense head verb, dicit puellam sedere, he says that the girl is sitting. Dicit puellam sessisse, he says that the girl was sitting. Dicit puellam sessuram esse, he says that the girl will sit. But with a past tense head verb, dixit puellam sedere, he said that the girl was sitting. Dixit puellam sessisse, he said that the girl had sat. And dixit puellam sessuram esse, he said that the girl would sit. Blame English and all its irregularities for this. Latin is very simple, and the present infinitive still indicates the same time, the past, time before, and the future, time after. But beware when translating.